Alright, so pardon the lack of hair, but working on doing the 5.3 with the 6.2 throttle body and intake swap. One of the things I've noticed is, let me flip the camera around. So this thing, and on the back side where everybody has trouble getting the harness removed, what I've noticed, and I haven't seen anybody else post about it, is I was able to get the manifold out without removing this piece. So putting it back in might be a little difficult, but what I'll do is I'll tie this up and slide it in and then bolt it back together. Alright, so I got the intake manifold out. I took it out with the throttle body on, but here's a little side-by-side with the 5.3 and the 6.2. The 6.2 I got was ported by GPI. So let's switch this. So it's about level there. I got the smart level on it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's zeroed out. It's about as tall as it is. The difference wise, they're both sitting on the same rail there, but you see this one's been ported. I could flip it over and show you that part too, but yeah. So there's the old throttle body. Here's the new guy. I went with the Katech ported. As everybody's shown, I mean, this thing literally will fit inside of it. That's how much larger it is. And side by side. So hopefully we'll get a good amount more flow. I was using the AFE throttle body spacer prior to, so that's why I have some additional gaskets. But we're gonna get this mounted up and hopefully get this in the truck sooner than later. I was running the AFE intake. Looks like this is going to be a bottleneck compared to the throttle body itself. As you can see, this thing has a taper. The large side is going to go to the throttle body, which means that is going to be my narrowest point. So probably be upgrading that as well. Alright, looking at the bottom of these things, so that's obviously the one I just took out. Here's the ported one. Better looking in here though. You can see that it's actually got quite a bit of oil built up in there. I do have the catch can now, so hopefully that's better, but as you can see there, a lot more open. What I also did was I took some 800 grit sandpaper and just cleaned up some of the edges and smoothed some things out. Don't know if it's necessary, but just something I wanted to do. Hole's big enough to get your arm in there, or at least my arm, so no big deal on that. And then as you can see down here, GPI put a plate back on there because that's two of the places that they mill out that those two posts that sit there in the middle. So let's get this thing mounted up. So for shits and giggles, I wanted to just see what the difference might be from OEM 5.3 liter to the 6.2 that's ported. Have 51 there roughly. And the ported on the 6.3 is about almost 53. Yeah. Each one of these might be a tad different, but yeah. So that's that side. Going this way, let's see, 37.5, and 38. I might not be perfectly centered, but yeah, 38. And I measured these, and they're definitely a little bit closer to being, it's hard to get the one way, but width-wise, it's definitely closer to matching the ported 6.2, so hopefully we'll get some better flow. Alright, so I did want to use the old ones. This manifold has about 140,000 miles on it, so these don't feel as rubbery as the new ones do, that's for sure. So we'll get these on and we'll pick up from there. So putting these in, just make sure you line up this little tab. Start with that so you don't stretch the gasket. Not gonna be able to do this with one hand, but maybe we'll see. Start off right there, and then where those little ridges are, you can kind of just start popping those in. They don't really pop in, but just work them in there. You got 8 of them to do, but yeah, just start with that little tab. Similar fashion, same type of gasket or grommet here. It's gonna work it in. Doesn't really have a starting tab position, but should go in real easy there, just like that. Able to do that one with one hand, so that was nice. So definitely not stoked on this. It looks like when they ported this, they took the butterfly out, they put it back in upside down. So even though this is going to be covered, so it's not going to really matter, but I mean, come on guys. And yeah, I could flip it around, but I don't want to mess up the positioning on it. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. Alright, so I got the little cover zip tied out of the way onto my catch can there. Hopefully this works. I haven't seen anybody else kind of leave this on, so this works. Hopefully it'll help you guys out that are doing this 6.2 swap on the 5.3. Wish me luck. Alright, so just torqued these down. Printed out a little sticker for the pattern. Make sure you pay attention. It's easy to get confused with it, with this front one down here. If you can see it, it's not in one of these little slots, so just remember that that's not number 7, that's number 6. So left to right, you're going to go to the third bay for 1. So 1, 2, 3, that's 1, and then across and back is 2, forward 1 is 3, and then we come back over to here to this second bay, which is 4, and then 5 is the third one back, or the fourth one back over here. And it's tricky on this side because those back 2 are pretty close together. So 5 and 8 are pretty close. 8 you can't see, you gotta kind of feel for it. But yeah, just follow this pattern, and you're gonna do 2 passes, one at 44 inch-pounds, and then repeat the process with 89 inch-pounds, and that should be good. I'm gonna get ready to slap the air intake on. Still super bummed about this. You're not gonna see it, but just, I don't know, come on guys, you can do better. Got the air intake back on. You got some connections that you gotta just put back together. I disconnected the alternator, and then that was the throttle body connection. Not sure what this one's called, but just unscrew it from this 10mm here, because you're gonna have to swap it over to the new intake, same as the one down here. There's a 10mm on the bottom of that. Depending on how you want to do it, might be easier just to pull the 10 rather than try to disconnect this and then disconnect the electrical connection. Last thing I gotta do, oh, and then I put the MAF sensor connection back on. This one I broke a while back, so I don't know. It seems to be holding on just fine, so for now, leaving it. I did pull the catch can, and I didn't do an oil change that long ago. I did just come back from Palm Springs, from Orange County, so I think it's like 88 miles one way, and obviously some other driving. I have a work truck, so I don't drive this a whole lot, but it does catch a lot, and this would normally be being burned off in your system. Let me see if I could just pause this for a second and open up my throwaway can there. I'll do my best to get it in there, but yeah, I don't drive this truck a whole lot, and this is how much AMSOIL I guess would have been getting burned off. So decent amount, and then there's some gunk down there too. So anyways, not a bad investment in my opinion. This is the K&N. It connects to the stock location up there. Bolts right up, comes with the hoses. I didn't have to get, I think there was an additional hose or something that you would get for this, but if you're running that, the hoses should work just fine. Alright, got this all cleaned out. Get it back on here. It's just hand tight. I've never had any issue with it, but just snug. Then reconnect your lines. These ones are pretty quick and easy to connect. You just push in this little tab right here. See if it'll focus. Yeah, that. So you just push that in to get it off. To get it on, it'll just click right on. It connects to the front side now instead of where it used to connect on the side over here. And then I think that's the PCV valve on the other side. I'll show you where it used to be on the old one. So that was the connection on the old one, all the way down the side. A little bit of a pain in the ass to get to. But yeah, so this little piece right here is now all the way at the front right here, which is why on this one you can see where it's pushing that oil back in. You can see that little hose that sticks in the side there to burn off the oil. And then I don't know if you can see too well down there, but that shiny shit in there is oil. So been there for a while. I've been using the catch can for a while. Probably doesn't catch everything, but anyways, that's it. So back over here, I'm gonna do the throttle relearn process, and I'll walk through that here shortly. All right, getting this thing wrapped up. Intake manifold and throttle body are on. Battery's back connected. I believe all my connections are in, hopefully. Basically only need a 10mm socket for this job, and a torque wrench along with your socket wrench. To make it easier, having one of these helps out a lot, to get to some bolts that are going to be pretty hard to access, like the number 8 and the number 9 back there. Those are pretty hard to get to, so definitely makes a difference with that. But get into the throttle relearn here shortly. Oh, and then one of the other tool I'd had to use was this for the flathead for the air intake. All right, super hot in here. So the process to do a relearn on this, from what I'm reading, is you're gonna turn the truck on for 3 minutes. Hopefully this thing starts. So pretty rough idle at first. We're gonna go for 3 minutes. Battery was disconnected, so got check engines on. Just gonna go off the 3 minutes of the footage. Pause it so you guys don't have to wait forever. All right, guys, so just wanted to give an update here at the end of the video. So if you watched everything through, you'll see that once I start the vehicle, it goes immediately into power reduction mode, or limp mode, and it threw 3 different throttle body codes. So after some troubleshooting, I tried to clear the codes, I tried to do a throttle relearn, tried to do throttle clean through the HP Tuner software, and none of that would work. So I reached out to Katech. They provided an RMA for the throttle body. I got that sent back to them. They tested it. They said on their bench testing, everything was functioning properly. However, for my installation, it obviously wasn't working. I tried everything I could. A buddy of mine that owns a shop, he had a 6.2 throttle body laying around that I was able to borrow and kind of just test some things out. Got that in there, cleared the codes. The truck been running fine ever since. Katech has since replaced the throttle body. I did get that installed, and it seems to be running fine. It's not throwing any codes. I'll still need to do some driving with it. In the video, I just started it up in the driveway and just let it idle for a minute. But previously, as you can see in the videos, it just immediately went into power reduce mode and had all those codes. So thanks to Katech for handling that. One thing to note, the throttle body from Katech is a GM throttle body from the dealer that is ported by Katech. So it's not technically a Katech throttle body. They do make throttle bodies. However, this one is a GM product that is CNC ported by Katech. And then along with the manifold is also something that Gwatney Performance, or GPI, orders from the dealers. They then do their production with it, where they CNC out a bunch of material to open that thing up, let it breathe a little better. And then one thing that you'll want to do is it is a bolt-on application for these, and you shouldn't need to do any tuning. It is recommended. There's 2 things that you would want to adjust just right out the gate with like HP Tuner software or something like that, which is the throttle body area. You want to adjust that to what the 6.2 is. So if you're at the 5.3, it's roughly like the area is like 3,600 something, and then with the 6.2, it's 4,118. And then for the manifold, the roughly the area on the manifold is something else you can change in HP tuners, from like 14 liters to 15 liters. So anyways, that's the update. Gonna try to do some more videos. I'm just something new I'm doing here, making a lot of updates to this truck. Gonna be doing a DOD delete with a truck Norris cam. I did just get in some American Racing long tube headers and the catless Y pipe, so that'll be going on. But yeah, stay tuned. If this is something that helped you out, or you guys are interested in, you know, like and subscribe. But anyways, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.